Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and welcome once again to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We are here to qualify for the 2020 Indianapolis 250 in the Haas IndyCar Series. Today is the first day of single car qualifications, and we will set the Fast 9 and Last 9, which will re-qualify again tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. And also set positions 10 through 27 in the Indianapolis 250 starting grid for Sunday, May 24th. It's pretty simple. If you're one of the fastest 9, you go for it again for the pole tomorrow. If you're one of the slowest 9, just gotta hope that tomorrow you're not one of the slowest 3 of those slowest 9 who re-qualify tomorrow, or otherwise you will be eliminated from the Indianapolis 250. 36 entries in the field, only 33 will make it into the show. Nobody goes home today. Nobody gets eliminated today. Today, like I mentioned, we set the Fast 9, the Last 9, and positions 10 through 27 in the starting grid. The qualifying order is in the description, but I'll also give you the qualifying order right now on your screen. I know that's a lot right there for one bit of text, I guess you can say. It's a lot to take in, but like I mentioned, the qualifying order is also in the description as well, and you can reference that anytime you want to throughout the video. Obviously, you can, because it's right there. But either way, we're ready to get this whole thing started, and this is how it's going to work out for Indianapolis 250 qualifications. Each driver gets 1 lap. They do not get 2 laps like they did last year. They only get 1 lap. I know it's not exactly how it is for real-life Indianapolis, but this is Enter 2003, and it is very difficult to actually run and broadcast single-car qualifications on this game. And it would take me forever if we were to do 4 laps each time for each of these drivers, and simply just don't have the time for that. So it's 1 driver for each driver, or should I say 1 lap for each driver. Of course, it's 1 driver for each person. That's how it always goes during signups. But 1 lap for each driver here in qualifications, and that lap stands as your day 1 qualifying time. And if you're one of the fastest 9, you get to go for the pole again tomorrow. And if you're one of the slowest 9, you have to re-qualify again to avoid elimination. The top 10 qualifiers will receive championship points. 10 points for the pole, 9 points for second, and so on, all the way down to the 10th position that gets 1 point in qualifying. So with that all out of the way, I'm pretty sure I explained that as best as I could. I'm not good at doing it. Let's go ahead and get started here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Single car qualifications underway for the 2020 Indianapolis 250. The first driver who will take to the racetrack is true rookie Chase Harris in the number 79. And here we go. The first driver to head out onto the racetrack for single car qualifications in the 2020 Indianapolis 250. And, of course, the qualifying order determined by the practice results yesterday. The slowest in practice was Chase Harris yesterday, so that is how it will line up from slowest to fastest from yesterday's practice session. And this is the first time Chase Harris has ever competed in anything on Napa Fam. So we're definitely in store for a very interesting session here, especially with all these true rookies. We have a few of them here that are looking to make their first ever start on Napa Fam. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out for these guys here in Indy 250 qualifications. Chase Harris about to start his first lap. Of course, Harris drives for the Otter Island Motorsports team, owned by yours truly. And we'll have to see just how he sets the bar for the rest of the qualifying session. Of course, this year the times are going to be a lot more spread out than they were last year. We have a range in the ratings for everything now. Unlike last year, everyone was right on each other last year. That will not be the case this year. 219 entering a turn number 3. It's a cloudy day, 72 degrees, so it's not too warm, so it should be a pretty fast racetrack. Chase Harris looking to complete his first lap, and his only lap in first day qualifications, 41.099. That sets the bar. Let's see how the next driver, Owen Miles, compares to Chase Harris's time. And here we go for our second qualifier here in single car qualifications for the Indianapolis 250. Another rookie to the Indy 250. But it is not a true rookie Napa fan. He has made a few starts before. Owen Miles, going to be driving the number 38 full-time this season for American Autosport. Trey Wright, the owner of this team. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing how he compares to Chase Harris. And like I mentioned, with the range and the ratings that we have this year, it's definitely going to make things interesting in this qualifying session. They're not going to all be on each other like they were last year, and we're going to have to see how good Chase Harris's time really does stand up compared to everybody else. Here we go, Chase Harris. Should I say Owen Miles? Getting behind myself here. Going to come across the line. He crossed the line at about 2:23. And about 2:15 off the corner right there. Owen Miles is a driver. We don't know what to expect this season in the Haas IndyCar Series. A lot of these guys, I think 13 of them, who are full-time this season in the Haas IndyCar Series at least, are rookies to the series. One of those rookies has driven in this race before. He's 2:13 off of turn 3 right there. It's not the fastest time there for Owen Miles. This is looking like it might be a little bit slower than Chase Harris's time. Coming across the line to complete his lap. Owen Miles is going to clock in at a 41.064. He goes to the top of the board, just edging out Chase Harris's time. Owen Miles, now the fastest driver here in Indy 250 qualifying day 1. Third driver to qualify here today, Peyton Hamilton. Another true rookie to Napa fan, going to be his first ever start if he qualifies his way in. Driving the number 11 for EEL Racing. Ethan Lewis, the owner of this team right here. He's another driver. We're not entirely sure what he'll bring to the table. But as we get these times to start flowing in here, we'll have to see how he compares to the rest of the field. This is basically an entire rookie operation. Ethan Lewis, relatively new to Napa fan. His first time ever owning a team. Peyton Hamilton, first time ever driving on Napa fan. And he's going to have to whip it around this racetrack for a pretty fast time if he's going to avoid the last 9. That's the big thing. You just don't want to be one of those slowest 9 drivers. And as long as you're not, you're good to go and you're in the Indianapolis 250 for next Sunday. Ooh, 209 off of turn number 2. That is one of the slower corners right there. We saw 213 off of turn number 3 for Owen Miles. Of course, the wind is at your face down the backstretch. So that is partly why turn number 2 is a little bit slower on the exit. 213 off for Peyton Hamilton. His time is going to clock in. It's going to be a 41.185. He'll go to third, slowest of the 3 who have qualified so far. Next driver in line, defending Indy 250 champion, Audra Baranauskas. Audra Baranauskas, defending Indianapolis 250 champion, making the move over to Andretti Autosport for the 2020 season. I mentioned yesterday it's going to be her 4th full-time season in the Haas IndyCar Series. She knows her way around this series and knows her way around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Of course, she lucked into the win a little bit last year when Jonathan King ran out of gas, but even on that final lap, Baranauskas passed at least 4 drivers to get to second, and then Jonathan King had his malfunction, and Baranauskas scooted across as the race winner. Like I mentioned, she drives for Andretti Autosport. The owner of Andretti Autosport is Fisher G. And we'll have those 15 owners battle it out in the Owners' Championship this year, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out for those guys. But Audra Baranauskas, expect a fast time out of her. She had a great run in qualifying last year here in the Indianapolis 250. Would imagine it's going to be pretty good for her as well. 210 off of turn number 2. That's a good sign. We were seeing 209 off of a couple other drivers there off of that corner. She had 220 entering turn number 3, but she's still 213 off of turn number 3. And through the final corner, 213 at the lowest. I believe this is going to be a pretty fast time for our defending Indy 250 champion, Audra Baranauskas, 40.969 to the top of the board for driver number 27, Audra Baranauskas. Here we go for our 5th driver, and in his 5th season of the Haas IndyCar Series, 5th straight season driving full-time here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Owner of North State Racing in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, Davey Johnson. He's won a few races here and there in the Haas IndyCar Series as well, and he's always done well during Indy 250 week. He didn't get the best of runs in practice yesterday. Obviously was the 5th slowest driver as he's going out into the racetrack rather early here in Indy 250 qualifying day number 1. But he drives for the Ed Carpenter Racing team, owned by Usmain Habib. And of course, Davey Johnson, the veteran on this team. Even Nathan Faden, a veteran as well. Nathan Faden, the other driver for Ed Carpenter Racing, won at Pocono last year. But Davey Johnson, the veteran driver, most likely, I'm pretty sure he is the most experienced full-time driver in the field when it comes to full-time racing. He's driven in more full-time seasons than anybody else in the field, I do believe. Maybe with the exception of Christian Master. He and Christian Master have both raced in 5 seasons, including this season. And Johnson looking to avoid the bottom 9. That's all you got to do, basically. Of course, if you make it onto the Fast 9, that's great. Get some extra points heading through the championship. Get 2:13 off the corner and was 2:13 for a little while. I believe this is going to be a bit slower than Baranauskas' time. At the stripe, Davey Johnson clocks in 41.154. That will be 4th quickest. We'll have to see how that holds up later on in the day here in Indy 250 qualifying from Indianapolis. Mitchell Collins, next driver in line for Hair Gel Autosport, or Hair Gel Motorsports, I do believe. All I know is Hair Gel Arvin Alonso is the owner of this team. That's all you need to know. Mitchell Collins going to be his first ever Indianapolis 250 if he qualifies his way in. We'll have to see what he does here in his qualifying session. Of course, you only get 1 lap, and with what we've seen, if you go under 41 seconds, you're probably going to be pretty good. Audra Baranauskas so far the only driver under 41 seconds with a 40.969. I think it's pretty safe to say, even though we're early on in this session, it's pretty safe to say that she will be racing in this year's Indianapolis 250. Good job by Owen Miles as well. Currently in the 2nd position. Not a bad position. Of course, Davey Johnson, our last driver, is a 41.154. So we'll just have to see how it all shakes out here. But Mitchell Collins on the clock right now. We'll see how he is off of turn at number 2. He was at 2:09, just a little bit there. Don't think this one's going to be as fast as Baranauskas' time. The Mitchell Collins would love to make this race be the biggest start of his career on NAPFan if he can make the show. And he was 2:13 for quite a while off of turn number 3 right there. Off of turn number 4, 2:13 again. Coming across to complete his lap in the first day of qualifications, Mitchell Collins will be a 41.126. That'll put him 4th fastest of the 6 drivers who have qualified so far. Our next driver in line, in the ride that actually won this race last year, the number 7 for Schmidt-Peterson, which was actually driven by Audra Baranauskas last season in the Haas IndyCar Series. So now Thomas Lipscomb driving this machine. It's going to be his first ever NAPFan start if he qualifies his way in. Obviously, he's on a pretty good team. Schmidt-Peterson actually went 1-2 last year. And we'll have to see if their drivers Dale Lightning and Thomas Lipscomb, who are going to go back-to-back here in qualifying. Next driver after Lipscomb is going to be Lightning in the number 5. We'll have to see how well they do here and see if they can make their way into the show. It's interesting because the 7 ended up making its way onto the race and won, but the 5 failed to qualify last year. So we'll have to see how it all goes down for these guys. Schmidt-Peterson hoping that they can get both of their drivers in. Of course, the owner of Schmidt-Peterson is Christian Vargas, who drove for the team last year and had a pretty solid run in the championship last year as well. Even got a race victory at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Well, Lipscomb, he hit 2:12 off the corner there. Actually, I'm wrong. Turn 2 is where you normally hit 2:09. We'll have to see what he hits off of turn 3. He's going to drop down to 2:12 off of turn 3. Yeah, he's going a little slow here. This might be the slowest time so far. Not looking too good for Lipscomb. Coming across the line, the number 7 of Thomas Lipscomb. Looking to make his first ever start on NAPFan. Clocks in 41.176. It's faster than Peyton Hamilton, but it is 6th of 7 drivers who have attempted to qualify so far here in Indianapolis 250 single car qualifications. And here is the other Schmidt-Peterson ride. You mentioned this team owned by Christian Vargas. Not the best run there with Thomas Lipscomb. 6th of 7th right now for driver number 7. The Dale Lightning in the ride that failed to qualify last year. This is a bit of a nervous one for Dale Lightning. Of course, it's the only ride returning from last year that failed to qualify. The other ride was for Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. That team does not participate in the Haas IndyCar Series anymore. But Dale Lightning, going to be his first Indianapolis 250. Of course, he's full-time in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Unfortunately, hasn't been the best of runs for him over there. But maybe he'll get a little bit better luck in the Haas IndyCar Series. Lots of times that's how it goes. The drivers who race in both series at the same time will be good in one series and not too good in the other. Of course, we know Dale Lightning hasn't had the best of runs over in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Maybe he'll translate to better success over in this series. But either way, Dale Lightning 214 off of turn number 1. We'll have to see what he is off of turn number 2. And he's going to be 209 for a little bit there, but it's what we've seen out of a few guys. I think mainly the biggest telling sign is how long they're in 213 off of turn number 3. And Lightning, a little deep there. He hit 213 for about a second off of turn number 4. He was 213 off of that corner for a while as well. I believe this is going to be closer to Lipscomb's time. After stripe, Dale Lightning going to a 41.121. A little bit better than I thought. He's going to go to 4th. Pretty solid time midway through the field so far of the 8 guys who have qualified here for Indianapolis 250 qualifications. Luke Rainey, 2017 Haas IndyCar Series champion and also the 2017 winner of this event. Next out on the racetrack for King Motorsports. Of course, King Motorsports owned by Nikolai Sykes. They've got a pretty solid team as well. Luke Rainey, Igor Barreto. Couple of IndyCar Series veterans. Of course, Luke Rainey going to be back full-time. Of course, this is the first season we've had the Champions Provisional. So Luke Rainey, Nicholas Amadio, a couple of guys who were not full-time last year, who were in Indy 250 only rides last year, they both end up with an opportunity to drive full-time here in the Haas IndyCar Series 2020. Great to see him back. A couple of past champions. Of course, Seidl's coming back. You got Baranauskas coming back. You got Master coming back. A lot of solid guys who have a lot of history in this series coming back this year in the Haas IndyCar Series. And hopefully, they can all make it into the Indianapolis 250. But, like I said, no one's safe. 213 off of that corner. Whereas the slowest corner is definitely turn number 2 because the wind is going directly against it. He was 209 for a little bit there off of turn number 2. Nothing too drastic from what we've seen so far. Rainey going around turn 3. He wasn't in 213 as long as Lightning or Lipscomb was a couple sessions ago. I think it's going to have a relatively fast time here in the number 1 machine. At the stripe, Luke Rainey, 2017 Indy 250 winner, 41.146. That puts him 6th fastest of 9 drivers. Not too shabby, not the best run. We'll have to see how that stands later on in the day. Here we go for Mr. NOFSRL himself. Driving for Otter Island Motorsports here in the Haas IndyCar Series. Of course, I own this team, but no one cares about that. Care about Marty! Of course, he's been driving in the Hers Dash Series, but doesn't race too often in the leagues of Napa Fan. But he has been a full-time driver in this series for the past few seasons. It's going to be his 4th season full-time in the Haas IndyCar Series 2020 here. And Marty Johnson looking to make his way into the Indianapolis 250, driving the number 75. His teammate Chase Harris is currently 3rd fastest with a 41.099. Johnson pretty fast entering turn number 1 right there is 225. Entering the corner, 215 off. This looks to be a pretty good time for Mr. Marty. 210 is the slowest off of turn number 2. I'd say Mr. Zakela because that's his real name, but that's not actually who's driving. It's Marty Johnson. I've known Marty Johnson longer than I've known Marty Zakela. 213, just a little bit there off of turn number 4. Or should I say turn number 3? And he hit 213 off of turn number 4. Coming across the line, he was really fast through turns 1 and 2. That might give him a good time here. 41.057. I say that's a pretty good time. Going to 2nd there, Marty Johnson. Looks like he's going to be in the show for the 2020 Indianapolis 250. Here we go for the first of our 6 Indy 250 only drivers attempting here today. This is Mitchell Henderson attempting his first ever Indianapolis 250. Of course, Mitchell Henderson began his career in Indy Light, so has some experience in open wheel racing. He's a full-time Chick-fil-A Cup Series driver right now. I saw this guy's had a wild night in the All-Star race. I don't know why I think of Henderson. I guess Henderson's the first guy who was in that All-Star race last night. Actually, Lightning didn't make it into the All-Star race, so that's why. So Henderson was the first driver, or is the first driver in the session, who was in last night's Chick-fil-A All-Star race. But Mitchell Henderson, number 88. Indy 250 only driver. This is the only race he's trying all year, so you gotta make it him now, or that's gonna be it. Of course, he will have tomorrow as well. 215 there, off of turn number 2. We'll see what he hits off of turn... I keep on getting the turns wrong. He was 215 off of turn 1, and he just barely hit 219 off of turn 2. This is looking like a solid lap for Mitchell Henderson right now. It's 220 barely entering turn number 3 off of turn 3. He hit 213 there for quite a while. That might slow him down. Turns 3 and 4. Not working out as well for Mitchell Henderson as they did through turns 1 and 2. We'll have to see what he clocks in here. First Indy 250 only driver clocks in at 41.093. Solid time. Solid time. Going to go to 4th. Most likely Mitchell Henderson will be in this year's Indianapolis 250. Our 12th driver to head out to the racetrack for Indy 250 qualifications. This is John Andrews, looking to make it into his 3rd Indianapolis 250. And of course, John Andrews has been driving on NAPA longer than most of y'all have, so this guy knows what he's doing. Going to be teammates of Nicholas Amedeo at Chip Ganassi Racing. Of course, the owner of Chip Ganassi Racing, Logan Williams, who is currently a driver in the Turkey Hill Series and Hers Dash Series. So great to have Logan Williams be part of the series as an owner. Of course, that owner's championship is going to be pretty cool because it's about driver's points, total driver's points on the team, because each team has 2 drivers, so works out pretty evenly, and it'll be fun to see who gets the owner's championship this year. Of course, there's most likely going to be a team who only has 1 driver in the Indy 250, the way things usually work out. One more thing as well, you see there on the left side of your screen, the leaderboard. Everybody below the green line right now is eliminated from the Fast 9. Eventually, once we get enough drivers, you'll see a red line come, and if you are below the red line, that is not good at all. That means that you are in the last 9 shootout tomorrow, which means you are in threat of elimination in the Indianapolis 250. Not exactly what you want. John Andrews, pretty solid there off of turn 3, hit 213 just a little bit. He hit 213 a little bit longer there off of turn 4. But I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty decent lap here for John Andrews at the stripe. Number 10 is going to clock in at a 41.029. He'll go to 2nd, edging out Marty Johnson there for the 2nd position. Audra Baranauskas still the fastest driver. We'll have to see if anyone beats her. We're a third of the way through Indy 250 qualifications for day number 1. And I'm excited for this one. Tristen Allen. Going to be his 2nd Indianapolis 250, but his first full-time season in the Haas IndyCar Series. Of course, we all know the story over in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series about how he's never won a race over there. Maybe the luck will change over here in the Haas IndyCar Series. I have a good feeling. He's driving for the winningest owner on NAPA, Derek Hamill. Of course, Hamill Autosport, 39 and the 93. Both sponsored by the United States Air Force. Pretty good looking cars, I might add. I painted these cars, but the design is not my own original idea. These were based off of Connor Daly's scheme that he was supposed to drive this year, which I think he will still drive in select races this year in the real-life entity IndyCar Series. But Tristen Allen here, number 39. Great to see him come out for the Indianapolis 250. We'll have to see what he does here in qualifying. Did not hit 225 entering turn 1. It was 214 off the corners. Looking a little bit slow for the number 39 machine. He hit 209 there midway through the corner. Back up down the backstretch. Of course, the wind is blowing directly in the car's face down the backstretch. So that definitely slows them down a little bit down the back straightaway here in Indianapolis. Off of turn number 3. Oh, he hit 212. That is not good. And 213, 212 again off of turn number 4. This might be one of the slowest times we have seen yet in this session. Tristen Allen clocks in at a 41.223. Ouch. It's the slowest time so far here in Indy 250 qualifications for day number 1. It looks like he'll be going to the last 9 tomorrow. And here's a gentleman who is $25 richer. Last night's All-Star Race winner in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, Jesse Turner in an Indy 250 only ride. He's the second Indy 250 only driver to go out on the racetrack here today. He's feeling pretty good after that really slick all-star victory last night at Charlotte. We'll have to see if he gets a good time and races his way into the Indianapolis 250. That'd be pretty slick if he did that as well. Driving the number 63. This will be Turner's fourth Indy 250 if he qualifies his way in. Of course, he's got to qualify his way in. However, he can clinch his spot into the Indianapolis 250 officially if he qualifies 5th or better. Yes. If he does that, he'll be in. 2:15 off of turn number 1. Pretty solid time right there for Jesse Turner. And he never hit 2:09 off of turn number 2, so this is looking like a pretty fast one for the first ever winner on Napa Fan. Not only that, he's a 19-time winner on Napa Fan as well. 2:20 entering turn number 3 for quite some time. Hit 2:13 for just a moment. Through turn number 4. Hit 2:13 for just a moment there. This might be the fastest time so far here today at Indianapolis 250 qualifications. At the stripe, Jesse Turner at a 41.012. Almost got it. He's second fastest. He's in the 2020 Indianapolis 250. Great job, Jesse Turner. Another great run here on Napa Fan. Max Anderson in the number 3 machine for Smith Motorsports. Team owner Trey Smith. Starting at a team here with Max Anderson and Francois Chastain. Of course, Max Anderson, this is going to be his third Indianapolis 250 if he qualifies his way in. And he'll be full-time this season in his second full-time Haas IndyCar Series season this year. There's Luke Rainey just got bumped out of the Fast 9, but it does appear that Rainey will avoid the last 9 this year. Of course, last year he barely made it in by the skin of his teeth, was the 33rd qualifier overall. Actually, well, 33, he started 33rd in Indianapolis 250, so he was the 7th qualifier in the last 9 shootout last year. Of course, last year only 2 drivers failed to qualify. This year, 3 drivers failed to qualify, so a little bit more on the line if you make that last 9 shootout. And for those guys who are right now below that green line, they might have to worry a little bit about being in that last 9 shootout once we get to the end of the day. We'll have to see how it all goes down. Max Anderson in the number 3, an Indianapolis 250 veteran. He's been in this race before, twice before, as a matter of fact. So one's not looking as fast as Turner's time. 2:13 quite a ways there off of turn number 4, but it's not as slow as Allen's time. At the stripe, Max Anderson's going to go to a 41.108, right smack in the middle. 8th fastest for Max Anderson. Don't think he's going to make the Fast 9, but he should be good to make it into the Indianapolis 250 for 2020. Here's another special driver making a return to Napa Fans. It's actually going to be his first start of the year, surprisingly. And, of course, he missed out on the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for season number 9. It's his first time he's not been in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He's been in every season before that. But it is so refreshing to see Garrett Sydnor back in action on Napa Fan and in one of the top-tier series as well, the Haas IndyCar Series. A new challenge for Garrett Sydnor. Of course, he went a very long time in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, nearly 5 full seasons without getting a race victory, and he still hasn't yet to win a race in that series since season number 4. And he's yet to win a race on Napa Fan since November of 2017. It's been a while for Garrett Sydnor, who has 19 career Napa Fan wins. He is currently tied with Jesse Turner. Of course, Jesse Turner won number 19 last night. But Sydnor, full-time this year in the Haas IndyCar Series, so many opportunities for him to get a race victory and get number 20, which is something I would love to see him do. Pretty fast there through turn number 1, 2:15 off the corner, off of turn number 2. Hit 2:09 for just a split second. Not too long on 2:09, though. Looking like a solid time here for the Dale Coyne Racing driver. Dale Coyne Racing, owned by Scott Upton. Great to see Scott Upton come up and own this team, and he'll be part of that huge Owners' Championship that we're going to have. I say huge, but the first time we ever had an Owners' Championship in the Haas IndyCar Series. Sydnor through turn 4, 2:13 is a little bit there. Sydnor at the line. I'd imagine it's going to be right down the middle. It will be a 41.075. Pretty solid. 6th fastest for Garrett Sydnor, and I believe that's going to lock him into the Indianapolis 250 for 2020. Great job for Garrett Sydnor. He's in the show for the biggest race on Napa Fan. Next driver in line is driver the number 12 for King Motorsports, Igor Barreto. Teammate to Luke Rainey. Of course, Luke Rainey is kind of on the bubble the way things are looking right now. 5th slowest for the driver, the number 1. We'll have to see how his teammate does here in the number 12. Of course, Igor Barreto, a veteran to the Haas IndyCar Series, has a lot of experience here. This is going to be Barreto's 3rd Indianapolis 250 if he qualifies his way in. His 3rd full-time season in this series. Been in this series since season number, well, since the 2018 season. We don't number the seasons in the Haas IndyCar Series like we do with the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, because we only do one of these a year, but we only do one in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series a year now, too, so yeah, that's just the way it goes. Igor Barreto across the line, going to start his flying lap here at Indianapolis, 2:25 for a little bit, entering turn number 1. And hit 2:14, though, exiting the corner. That's going to slow him down just a little bit. Have to see what he does off of turn number 2. A bit of 2:09 there for the number 12. Nothing too drastic. Hitting 2:20, entering turn number 3. Off of turn number 3, he's going to be 2:13 for a little while right there. And he's going to hit 2:13 again off the exit of turn 4. Pretty standard lap. I imagine this is going to be right around the middle as well. Igor Barreto going to clock in at a 41.091. And I was right. 7th fastest for Igor Barreto. Pretty much right down the middle. Actually, a little bit in the higher group of guys right there. So good lap there for Igor Barreto. 17 cars down, 19 more to go. Barreto 7th fastest here in Indy 250 qualifying, day number 1. And after Nathan Faden will be halfway through the first day of Indianapolis 250 qualifications. Nathan Faden, driving for Ed Carpenter Racing, who is the main habit, the owner of this team, of course, like I mentioned. His teammate, Davey Johnson, is currently 14th of 17 drivers. We'll have to see if that translates to anything for Nathan Faden. But Faden is our last race winner in the Haas IndyCar Series. Won the Haas World Championship 100 at Pocono last August, so he knows how to get it done at these high-speed ovals. And, of course, Pocono is the most similar racetrack to Indianapolis on the schedule for these guys. Faden hit 2:14 there off of turn number 1. And off of turn number 2, 2:09 there for a little while. As Faden roars down the backstretch. Like I mentioned, the wind going right against these guys down the backstretch. It's pushing them on the front stretch, though. That's why they're going a little bit faster down the front stretch here today. And, oh, he hit 2:12 just a little bit there off of turn number 3. Is not looking good for Nathan Faden. Didn't hit 2:12 off of turn 4. Kept it at 2:13. At the stripe, Nathan Faden. I don't think it's going to be too good of a lap. 41.136. He goes to 13th. He's going to be right on the bubble to make it in, though. Of course, we're only halfway through, so I'll have 18 more drivers left to go. Nathan Faden, 13th fastest right now here in Indianapolis 250 qualifications, day number 1. And the 19th driver to come out for Indy 250 qualifications, beginning the second half of the first day. Rayan Durrani, the number 77 Indy 250 only driver. And now I'm joined alongside a co-commentator, Bradley Ream. And what we've seen out of the guys who have been the fastest so far is they've hit 210 miles per hour off of turn 2 instead of the other guys that are hitting 209. So for Rayan Durrani, what does he got to do to make sure he gets that fast time through turn 2 with the wind pushing right in front of his race car?
So he's just got to really keep it clean. He's got to execute through the corners and, keep it smooth. Don't let him mess up or get loose or you're going to get to the wall. Just don't make many mistakes at all.
Of course, the difference between all these guys and the times is minimal, so fraction of an inch could determine whether you make it into the last 9 or fast 9. Off of turn number 1, it's 2:14, a little bit slower. And he's going to hit 2:09 right there, and he was in 2:09 for a little while there off of turn number 2. There's Rayan Durrani going down the backstretch, going against the wind as they enter turn number 3. And he hit 2:12 off the corner. That's not good at all for Rayan Durrani. We saw Tristen Allen do that, and he has the slowest time. Allen did it off of turn number 4, though, and Durrani kept it in 2:13. Rayan Durrani is going to go to a 41.159. He will go to the 16th position underneath Davey Johnson. Not the best of runs there for Indy 250 only driver Rayan Durrani. And here we go for our 20th driver for the first day of Indy 250 qualifications. This is Jordan Lopez in the number 14, who has driven the number 14 in every season of the Haas IndyCar Series since 2017. It's going to be his 4th straight season driving in the Haas IndyCar Series. And the one thing about Jordan, though, is he's never won a race in the Haas IndyCar Series before. And Bradley, do you think this year might finally be the year for the veteran driver Jordan Lopez?
Yeah, I think he has a really strong ABC car. It is Honda, I'm pretty sure it is. This year, I think he might have a chance if he can like figure it out and do what he has to do and get through all the wrecks and all that stuff and get out front and win the race. I mean, he can do it. Everybody can do it, but he's just gotta have a strong car and execute on everything. We'll
have to see if he executes in the Indy 250 as well. He actually drives the Chevrolet, but AJ Foyt used to be Honda a few years ago, so understandably, it's hard to tell too because it's the same mold for the Chevy and the Honda anyway, so it's a little bit less of a big thing here in the IndyCar Series than it is in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Lopez was 213 through turn 3 quite a bit right there. And he'll hit 213 off of turn number 4, but he never hit 212 at any point. We'll have to see where he clocks in as the 20th driver, 41.094. That actually puts him 9th fastest, so currently he's in the Fast 9, but odds are he's going to get pushed out before the end of the day. But he is in the 2020 Indianapolis 250, guaranteed to be in next Sunday's race. Here we go for the 21st driver in line. Indiana native Nathan Stapleton driving for American Autosport. And I think this would be a lot like you winning the Coke 600 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, Bradley. Home state for Nathan Stapleton here in Indiana, and the biggest race on that fan as well. What do you think Nathan's going to do this year? The Indianapolis 250 hasn't been in a while.
I mean, I think he's going to do really good if he can, as I said earlier, like execute well and do all the stuff he needs to do. But if he has a good team behind him at American Autosport, Trey, all those guys, but I mean, he's got to really do well, and he's got to keep the speed up, and he might be able to get it in his home state. I know he probably's been to that track and all that stuff, and he knows his way around there. But we'll have to wait and see. You never know who's going to win all these things, so it could be tough for him. It could be a tough day. It could be a good day, but Nathan really knows how to do it at his home track.
He was 209 there off of turn number 2 for quite a while. This is not shaping up to be one of the faster laps. If he gets 12th or better, he is locked into the show. But he was 212 for quite a while there off of turn number 3. And it looks like he's going to hit 212 again. This is not going to be too good for Nathan Stapleton, unfortunately. He's going to have to work again tomorrow in the last 9, most likely at the stripe. 41.263. That is so far the slowest time in day 1 of qualifications. Tough break there for Nathan Stapleton. He's most likely going to be in the last 9 shootout tomorrow, and he's going to have to go after it again, figure out what's wrong on that number 34 machine. Here we go, 22nd driver to qualify here in day 1 of Indy 250 qualifications. Andrew Miller, number 48, driving for Zidell Motorsports. He drives for Zidell Motorsports in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. He's had a very good year over there, but this is going to be Miller's first ever attempt at anything IndyCar on Napa Fan. Actually, that's not quite true. He was in the Freedom 50 last year, but still, first attempt in the Haas IndyCar Series, and it's going to be the big Indianapolis 250. Of course, he's going to be driving full-time this year on this 48 team. He's had a very successful year in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Do you think he's going to have a successful year here in the Haas IndyCar Series?
He could. He's driving the same number. He's driving for the same team, just different series. I think he might be able to have a good shot. Just, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, he could get caught up in a wreck. He just might not have the speed, but Andrew Miller, he's been really doing well in the Cup Series. I mean, I'm not being mean or anything against me, but he's been really doing good from a driver's perspective. Everybody in the garage really likes him as he heads down the backstretch, hitting 212.
It was 209 for a bit off of turn number 2, but nothing drastic so far. I'll have to see if he hits 212 off of turn number 3. Yeah, he just barely tapped it. through turn number 4. He hit 212 just a second there. We'll have to see where this clocks in. This might not work out too well for Andrew Miller at the stripe. It's going to be a 41.146. He ties with Luke Rainey for 15th. And we'll have to see who gets the tiebreaker in that scenario. I believe Rainey would as a champion's provisional since he did race last year. So Rainey will have that on Miller. But you see that already updated there on the side of your screen there. So Miller right on the edge of possibly making it into the last night shootout. You do not want that to happen. We'll have to see if he stays there as we get through the rest of the field.
Yeah, so next guy up is Mason Brown in the 250 day 1 qualifying. Driving the 37 for Hergel Motorsports in the Chevrolet. Gonna come off under the first pace lap, or if that's what you want to call it, on the back straightaway. Right now he's going 180 miles per hour, but it's not going to matter when he gets to the start-finish line, because that's when his lap time will begin. He's got to get it. 212, you don't really want to get it there. You got to get it above 212 and 209 out of the corners.
It'll be interesting to see what Mason Brown does this season. Relatively new to Napa Fan, but he does have a Napa Fan win in the Hers Dash Series earlier this year. And of course, this is a big race for Mason Brown. We'll have to see what he does as he clocks in. And off of turn number 1, 214 off, but not for too long. And off of turn number 2, which is the slowest corner, he was 209 there for quite a while. We'll have to see what he does at the exit of turn 3. You're good friends with Mason Brown, though. You're rooting for him here in the number 37.
Yep.
It's 213. Oh, he hit 212 for quite a while there off the exit.
Out of turn 4, Charlotte native.
Hit 212 again off of turn 4. Coming to the stripe, we'll have to see where he clocks in. Not looking too good, unfortunately, for Mason Brown at the stripe. 41.221. That's going to put him 21st. Not looking too good for Mason Brown there, but he's still not eliminated yet. Still can advance his way through in the last night shootout. Only 3 guys get eliminated, but he might be on the brink of elimination tomorrow here in the Indianapolis 250 qualifying session. And our 24th driver, another Indy 250 only competitor here. This is Ace Garcia, who is second straight year in an Indy 250 only ride. And this will be his 3rd Indianapolis 250 if he qualifies his way in. The Indy 250 only drivers, with the exception of Rayan Durrani, have done pretty well. Of course, we had Jesse Turner and Mitchell Henderson out there. They're both still inside the Fast 9 right now. I didn't have the controls up there, but as an Indy 250 only driver, your only goal is to make sure you're in the Indianapolis 250. So how much harder are these Indy 250 only drivers going on the racetrack compared to the full-time guys?
Well, they know that they're on hands and on risks for getting out of this race, but if they can really execute into turn 2, especially where it's the slowest corner, and they can really do well.
Really slowed it down there off the corner.
He's got to really
212 off of turn number 1. That's the slowest I think I've seen all day. And Ace Garcia did really well in qualifying last year, but it's not looking too hot for the 81 right now. Did not hit 212 though. Stayed at 213 off of turn number 3, and he'll stay 213 off of that corner, so he definitely gained some more time through 3 and 4. We'll have to see where he clocks in here. He's going to go to a 41.207. Yeah, he killed it there in the first 2 corners, and he's going to fall to 21st. Not looking too good for Ace Garcia there. Tough break for him on that run. 25th driver here for day 1 of Indy 250 qualifications is Thomas Troxel. Veteran driver of the series now. Going to be a second full-time season in the Haas IndyCar series. Driving for the EL Racing team. Ethan Lewis's team right here. And we'll have to see how well Thomas Troxel rolls here in Indy 250 qualifications. Of course, we've seen the past few guys have been a little bit slow here. Mason Brown, Ace Garcia, Nathan Stapleton, we've all done here recently. They haven't gotten the best of times. How do you think Troxel's going to do here? Is the track maybe getting a little slower out there?
I think he might do good if he can if he can get a really good run in and out of turn number 2. If he can keep it really fast. If he gets down to he gets down to 209, he's really not going to have a good chance of getting in the 40s or maybe in the low 41s.
Hit 209 for just a split second there. It really matters how long you're in that zone, because we've seen guys who have actually, been in 209 for a couple of seconds, but Troxel only hit it for maybe a split second there. 213, barely 213 off the corner. This is a fast lap out of Thomas Troxel, guys. Watch out, Audra. You might be knocked off. Here we come towards the line. Thomas Troxel with a 41.042. Not quite. Fourth fastest for Thomas Troxel. That might put him in the Fast 9 for tomorrow. Great run for the driver of the EEL Racing team. Here we have 26th driver out on the racetrack here. Only 11 more drivers left to go. This is Noah Clifton in number 23. An IndyCar Series veteran. He drove in 2016, and this is going to be his third full-time season. Drove last year, and his first consecutive season full-time in the Haas IndyCar Series. Moving over to Carlin Racing. Carlin Racing owned by Andrew Williams. And we'll have to see how well Clifton could do here in Indy 250 qualifying. Thomas Troxel set a fast lap that last time around, but no one has gone under 41 seconds with the exception of Audra Baranauskas. You think anyone's going to hit under 41 here today?
Yeah, with what I've seen earlier, they won maybe, but get a 9.990, something like that. But the way I've seen it today, they've gotten a lot of 41. So I mean, you might see one, maybe two, but don't get your bets on getting two. I think it might just be one driver, and I think it might be one other driver besides Baranauskas.
We'll have to see how it all shakes out here. Clifton a little bit slow entering turn number 3 right there. And he was 212 for a majority of the corner there. That is not good at all. He hits 212 off the corner. This one's not looking too hot for Noah Clifton, number 23. Most likely going to be in the last 9 after that one. 41.297. That is the slowest time we have had so far. Tough break there for Noah Clifton. Looks like he's going to have to qualify once again tomorrow to avoid elimination. And here we go for our 27th driver. And after this one, we'll start pushing guys underneath the red line. You see Noah Clifton right now the slowest. This is actually Noah Clifton's good friend Brandon Nelson in an Indy 250 only ride. And odds are Nelson's probably going to be faster than Clifton here, as Clifton was the slowest driver that last time around. But we'll have to see how the number 60 rolls here. Going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out for these guys. But we've seen a lot of slow times as of late here. With the exception of Thomas Troxel, everyone so far who has gone in the second half has been either 19th or worse. So it might have been a good thing to be one of those first guys out on the racetrack. Brandon Nelson, 224 entering the corner off of turn number 1, 214. He didn't hit 213, so that's a good sign for him as of now. And he was in 209 just a little bit there, but it's looking like a rather normal lap here for Brandon Nelson.
Yep, down the back straightaway, he goes 218 coming into turn number 3. And have a good lap time in, you just got to keep it out of trouble and keep it clean. Out of turn 3, he's going to hit 212 and for a little bit right there. Coming out of turn 4 and on to the front stretch, he's going to get to 212 again. Coming around to the front stretch and see what his lap time is here, and it's going to be a 41.214.
And that will put him in 23rd. And it was better than Clifton's, but it was not too fast at all. He hit 212 a couple times there. Not a good turns 3 and 4 there on that lap for Brandon Nelson. Looks like he's going to be in the last 9 as well. Maybe not, but he might be. We'll have to see how it all shakes out. Still have 9 drivers left to qualify here in the first day of Indy 250 qualifications. 28th driver to qualify here. This is Buck Hover, a true rookie to Napa fan. Going to be his first ever start on Napa fan if he qualifies his way into the Indianapolis 250. Of course, with what we've seen lately, a lot of guys have been getting slower times as of late. Keep in mind, too, a lot of these guys who are going now were faster in practice than the guys who went before. The practice times have consistently gotten faster for these guys, so seems like a lot of those guys who were fast at practice yesterday, keep in mind, they were practicing with other drivers and had a bit of a draft with each other. Seems like a lot of these faster guys that are a little bit slower in single-car runs. What I meant to say. And we'll have to see what Buck Cover can do. Will he race his way into the Indianapolis 250? Will he clinch his spot in? We'll have to see. Hit 224 there entering the corner. Hit 214 just a little bit there, but nothing too slow off of turn number 1. Off of turn 2, he hit 209 for a split second there, but as of now, everything looks pretty clean for the number 93. Didn't quite hit 220. And he hit 212 just a little bit there off of turn number 3. Final corner for Buckover in the number 93, and he barely, and I mean barely, hit 212, so this should be a decent lap for the 93 of Buckover at the line. 41.176, ties Thomas Lipscomb. It's close, but odds are he should be good to go to make it into the show. Whereas with both Hover and Lipscomb being tied, Lipscomb does have the advantage since the 7 was in last season, so it has the higher owner's standings. So Lipscomb will have the tiebreaker on Buckover, but odds are they should both be able to make it in. They already have 7 drivers below them. I would imagine we're going to have a couple of guys who are slower than Buckover and Thomas Lipscomb in these last 8 drivers. And it is our 29th driver. And you're going to hear a little bit of an echo, but that's alright. Having some technical difficulties on our end. But Justin Seidel, our defending Haas IndyCar Series champion. And of course, if he were to miss the Indy 250, that'd definitely be a big story. But like I mentioned, no one's safe coming into this event. We'll have to see what Justin Seidel can do. A lot of the times lately have been a little slow. We'll have to see what Seidel does on his fast lap here, the first day of qualifications.
Yep, so he's coming out of the corner 209 miles per hour for a long time there. He's getting up to speed on the front stretch, about to take his lap. And here he goes into turn number 1, 225 miles per hour, backing it down to about 217, and then 214 coming in out of turn number 1. He's going to stay in 209 for a little bit, probably about a second and a half there as he goes down the back straightaway.
We'll have to see what Seidel does through 3 and 4. Did pretty well through turns 1 and 2 right there. Didn't hit 220 entering turn number 3. He hit 212 just a little bit there. And we'll have to see if he hits it again off of turn number 1. Barely tapped it. We'll have to see if he can keep himself from elimination right here. I think he should be able to at the line. It's going to be a 41.168. That'll put him in 20th. And I believe that will keep him safe and sound to advance on to the Indianapolis 250. It will. So, Justin Seidel is in the 2020 Indianapolis 250. Great run there for our defending champion. Here we go for our last Indy 250 only driver of the day. Our 30th qualifier here in Indy 250 qualifications. Day number 1. This is Zach Winkle, who won the Thanksgiving 500 last year, which is, like I mentioned, one of the big 3 events that we have here on Napa Fan. But Zach Winkle, this is a bit of a cursed car in a way when it comes to Indianapolis, because Fernando Alonso in real life failed to qualify on this ride. We'll have to see if Zach Winkle can bring it into our show. If that's the case, Zach Winkle's a better driver than Fernando Alonso. We'll just have to see. Zach Winkle going to go ahead and start his lap here in the number 66 machine.
Coming across the line, he's going to get to almost 225 miles per hour coming into turn number 1. He's going to have to back out of it a lot. He's going to get down
to 212 off. That's not going to help him too much there. Just got in a little too hot, I think. Oh, he hit 208 off the corner.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is not
see if he makes it up to turns 3 and 4. Could be the slower entry into the corner through 3 and 4 helps you on the exit. He did not hit 212 there, so that might help him out here. 214, 213, hit 212 just a little bit right there off of turn number 4. Coming across the line, Zach Winkle, last Indy 250 only driver in qualifying, will clock in at a 41.252, and that's going to put him 28th, and automatically he will be in the last 9 shootout with that run. Tough break there for Zach Winkle, the number 66, but he still has a chance. As long as he's not one of the 3 slowest guys tomorrow in the last 9 shootout, he should be good to go. But it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of these drivers fare here, as these times have definitely gotten slower as the session has moved on. 31st driver, Cole Speed in the number 4, teammate to Jordan Lopez at AJ Foyt. Angel Olvera, the owner of the AJ Foyt racing team. And we'll have to see if Cole Speed has speed, because not looking good for these guys at the back half of this session. They have really been slow as of late. I mean, we initially thought that guys like Davey Johnson, Rayan Durrani might have trouble making it in, but as of now, it looks like they are locked in. Thomas Lipscomb as well in the 21, or should I say in the 70, in the 7. He's 21st right now, which is why I said 21. I don't know anymore. Here he comes off of turn number 4 to start his lap. Only 6 drivers left here on the first day of Indy 250 qualifying.
So into turn 1, he's going to hit 225, and he's going to come out of the corner around 215, 214. There, turn 2, he's going to come out around 209 there for a second.
He just barely hit 209 there off of turn number 2. And for the true rookie of Cole Speed, it's looking pretty good right now. Hit 212 off the corner. So many guys have been doing that in the back half of this session. And off of turn number 1, he just tapped 212 a little bit off the corner. Cole Speed, it looks like it's going to be good enough to advance his way into the Indy 250. Going to be a 41.156. That's going to put him in 19th in between Davey Johnson and Rayan Durrani. Good enough to lock himself into the Indianapolis 250 for 2020. And Bradley had to leave, so just back to being myself now. But huge thanks to Bradley for joining us there for a little bit here for Indy 250 qualifying day number 1. Francois Chastain, 32nd driver out on the racetrack. And with what we saw there with... who was it? Cole Speed. Imagine we'll hopefully see something out of Francois Chastain, another first-timer on Napa Fan here, driving the number 62 for Smith Motorsports. Trey Smith, the owner of this team. Oh, he really had to check it up there through turn number 1. If you get into turn number 1 a little too hot, that might hurt your chances at a good time. He hit 208 off of turn number 2. This isn't looking too good for Chastain. Right now, Tristen Allen, Zach Winkle, Nathan Stapleton, Noah Clifton, those drivers confirmed to be in the last 9 shootout tomorrow. Not exactly what those guys want, especially Allen, Stapleton, and Clifton, and even Winkle, too. I mean, all those guys have won races on Napa Fan before. Very interesting to see those guys be the guys who are that far down. We'll have to see where Chastain compares to those guys coming across the line. In number 62, it will be a 41.191. Going to put him in between Peyton Hamilton and Ace Garcia. Going to go 25th. Not quite safe yet, but he avoids the last 9 for now. We only have ourselves 4 drivers left, including 2 past Indy 250 champions. Let's see how it all goes down here. Last 4 drivers at Indy 250 qualifications. Here we go, the 2015 season winner of the Indianapolis 250. Of course, when this guy won it, it was only a 200-mile race. But Christian Master looking to start his 6th Indianapolis 250. He's the only driver attempting this race who was in the inaugural edition of this race, which was the special event back in 2015. Should be an interesting one here for Christian Master. Hopefully gets a good time in. Be a shame if a past Indianapolis 250 champion failed to make it into the show. But like I said, no one's safe. Not even Christian Master or Nicolas Samadio. Of course, a lot of guys are safe right now. They've locked their spots on. But the big question is, will Christian Master be able to lock his spot on in the number 59? He's hitting 225 entering turn number 1. And he's able to keep decent speed off of turn number 1 as well. That looking pretty good right there for the number 59 of Christian Master. Hits 209 for a split second. Able to get out of that pretty quickly. This is looking like a decent time for Christian Master in the number 59 machine. Nobody has been able to get our defending Indy 250 champion, Audra Baranauskas. So far, still the only driver under 41 seconds. Odds are no one's going to beat that time. Master hit 212 off of both turn 3 and turn 4. We'll have to see what he clocks in here. It's going to be a 41.192. Yee boy, that's close. That's close. That puts him 26th. That's going to push Brandon Nelson into the last 9. Nelson's going to have to race his way in tomorrow. But for Christian Master, it's looking like he may actually go to that last 9 shootout tomorrow as well. We're just going to have to see how the last 3 drivers do here. if all of them qualify faster than the Christian Master. I'm trying to figure this out. If all of them qualify faster than the Christian Master, then Master is going to be in the last 9 shootout tomorrow. So, Master on the bubble right now here in Indy 250 qualifications. Only 3 cars remain here in the first day of Indy 250 qualifications. So far, Brandon Nelson, Mason Brown, Tristen Allen, Zach Winkle, Nathan Stapleton, and Noah Clifton are in the last 9 shootout. On the bubble, Francois Chastain, Christian Master, and Ace Garcia. I have to see what Matt Tuck does in the infamous number 28 that ran out of gas coming to the checker flag last year with Jonathan King driving the race car. Jonathan King's not in the series this year. Instead, it's 3-season veteran Matt Tuck. Going to be his 3rd full-time season here in the Haas IndyCar Series and his 3rd Indy 250 if he qualifies his way in. Here we go. Matt Tuck coming across the line to start his lap. 223 at the line, 224, 225. Almost hit 226, but could not quite get there. And 215 minimum off of turn number 1. Here we go. And he didn't even hit 209 off of turn number 2. This guy's got a fast lap. Matt Tuck looking to advance his way onto the Indy 250. Have a shot at the pole tomorrow as well. He could make the fast 9. Let's see if he does. Oh, he did not get through turn 3 well at all. Ended up hitting 212 off the corner. Just got it a little too hot in the corner, but he does not hit 212 through turn number 1. Coming across the line. If he beats a 41.093, he's in the fast 9, and he obliterates it. 41.048. He goes to 5th on the leaderboard. He pushes Mitchell Henderson outside the top 5. The top 9, I should say. Boy, you got me excited there, Matt. I'm coughing. But no, don't worry, I'm fine. I don't have, you know what. Matt Tuck gonna be in the Fast 9 shootout. He's gonna go for the pole tomorrow here in Indianapolis 250 qualifications. Ace Garcia gets pushed to the last 9 shootout. He's gonna have to requalify again tomorrow to avoid elimination. But Matt Tuck gonna go for the pole tomorrow on Sunday. Here we go for Mr. Edge himself, Nicholas Samadio on the number 9. Gonna get out there and get his lap underway. The 2018 Indianapolis 250 champion. Looking to knock off the 2015 Indianapolis 250 champion. Of course, if Christian Master can hold his time, he'll be good to go. But he still has to worry about Josh King, who was the fastest in practice yesterday. Samadio, not too bad through turn 1. Don't think he's going to be as fast as Matt Tuck was. But he was not in 209 that long, so it's looking pretty solid here for Nicholas Samadio, the 2018 winner of this race. But Christian Master, 2015 winner, it's not looking too good for him right here. He may miss making it on today. He'll have to requalify again tomorrow in the last 9 shootout. That's definitely going to get interesting if that's the case. And Samadio, pretty solid off of turn number 1. This should be a good time for him. Crossing the line. 2018 champion Nicholas Samadio, 41.088. He goes to 9th on the leaderboard. He knocks Igor Barreto outside the Fast 9. And as long as Josh King is not faster than him, Nicholas Samadio will be going for the pole tomorrow in the Fast 9 shootout. Great job for the 2018 champion Nicholas Samadio. 1 driver left, Josh King in the number 18. And then we will give you guys the Fast 9 and last 9 shootouts and then set the starting lineup for positions 10 through 27. Christian Master pushed outside the top 27. He will have to go to the last 9 shootout tomorrow after the Fast 9 shootout. Francois Chastain on the bubble right now. Here we go for the final driver to qualify here for Indy 250 qualifications. Josh King in the number 18. Have to see how well he does here. As long as he's faster than a 41.191, he will be in the Indianapolis 250 guaranteed. And if he beats a 41.088, he'll be going for the pole tomorrow in the Fast 9 shootout. The last driver here in Indy 250 qualifications, Josh King in the number 18. Let's see how he clocks in on his lap. 222 at the line. And he did not hit 225 entering turn number 1. 214 off the corner. And Off through the slowest corner there. He did not hit 208. He did hit 209 there for a little while, so this is most likely not going to be a fast 9 time. But we'll have to see if it's enough to beat Francois Chastain's time in the number 62. Of course, Francois Chastain on the bubble right now. If Josh King is faster than him, Chastain will have to go to the last 9 shootout tomorrow. If he is not, Josh King goes to the last 9 shootout. Here we go. Across the line. The final time, the first day of Indy 250 qualifications, Josh King goes 41.278. That is going to keep Chastain in the show. Francois Chastain will be in the Indianapolis 250. Josh King will have to go to the last 9 shootout as he qualifies in the 35th position. Tough break there for Josh King, but he still has a chance of making it onto the show. As long as he's not one of the 3 slowest guys tomorrow in the last 9 shootout, he'll be good to go. Let's go ahead and give you guys the fast 9, last 9, and set positions 10 through 27 for the Indianapolis 250. So that will do it for Indy 250 qualifying day number 1. Keep in mind, it's only day number 1. Here is the Fast 9 shootout, and these guys will all go and qualify a single lap once again tomorrow for the pole position. Audra Baranauskas, Jesse Turner, John Andrews, Thomas Troxel, Matt Tuck, Marty Johnson, Owen Miles, Garrett Sydnor, and Nicholas Samadil. Let me tell you, that is one stout field for the Fast 9 shootout. If I'm Owen Miles, I am proud to be part of that group of drivers going for the Indy 250 pole. You got 2 past Indianapolis 250 champions, 2 19-time winners on Napa Fan, an 11-time winner on Napa Fan, a couple of veterans in the Haas IndyCar Series, and then here you are, the rookie, the only rookie in the Indianapolis 250 Fast 9 shootout. Owen Miles could steal it and surprise us all. And then on the flip side, the last 9 shootout, and these guys will go out, and these will actually be the first group of guys to qualify tomorrow. The slowest 3 in the last 9 shootout will fail to qualify. They will all qualify a single lap just like they did today. Christian Master, Ace Garcia, Brandon Nelson, Mason Brown, Tristen Allen, Zach Winkle, Nathan Stapleton, Josh King, and Noah Clifton. 3 of those drivers will fail to qualify for the 2020 Indianapolis 250. And then, they're the guys who are in the middle. They're in the race, they're done, and they have their starting positions locked for the Indianapolis 250. Igor Barreto will start in the 10th position. Mitchell Henderson and Jordan Lopez will start alongside each other in row number 6. Chase Harris and Max Anderson in row number 7. Row number 8 is Dale Lightning and Mitchell Collins. Row number 9, Nathan Faden and Luke Rainey. Row number 10, Andrew Miller and Davey Johnson. Row 11 will be Cole Speed and Rayan Durrani. Row number 12 will be Justin Seidel and Thomas Lipscomb. Row number 13 will be Buck Cover and Peyton Hamilton. And then row number 14 will have Francois Chastain and the fastest driver in the last 9 shootout. Igor Barreto will receive a point towards the championship for qualifying 10th. And the other points will be awarded based on the running order in the Fast 9 shootout tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy single car qualifications. Thank you to Bradley Moon for joining me there for a little bit. Great to have him on board. And tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, right here on Napa Fan, we will set the official starting lineup for the Indianapolis 250. We'll award the pole. And unfortunately, we will send 3 drivers home from participating in the Indianapolis 250 in 2020. Thank you guys so much for watching. And congratulations to the 9 guys for making it on to the Fast 9 shootout. And we'll have to see what happens in the last 9 shootout with those 9 guys looking to avoid elimination. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. And I will see you guys later.